can I just update with Aishling Sexton, Zac's mammy? Because Aishling Sexton and Paul Higgins, and indeed their two other kids, Max and Belle, have been waiting patiently and have been watching as Zac makes a slow but steady recovery after the incident that involved him all those weeks ago down in the Mahon area when he was hit by a car and very badly injured. The issues that we were all watching and wondering about and worrying about was a brain injury. But we have some great news and a great update this morning. And with that in mind, Mammy Aishling joins me by phone. Aishling, good morning.
Hi, Neil. How are you?
Great news, they're telling me. What's the update?
He's being transferred to the COH on Thursday. So it's all systems go to Cork, so we can't wait.
Yeah, and how has he been? I mean, the most I've seen recently is various photographs of Zac, but how's his progress been?
He's doing really, really well. It's slow, but in the scheme of things, he's doing well. Like, he started walking. He started walking the last 3-4 days. No, he's not he's not strong or anything, but he's walking, you know what I mean? You know, he's a bit wobbly, but he's doing really well considering, you know.
So he's sitting up, he's smiling, he's walking, or, you know, getting there. What about his vision? Because the last time we spoke, there were vision issues, weren't there?
Yeah, well, you see, they still don't know really with his vision. Now, he can definitely see, but the quality of what he can see, we just don't know.
Is he communicating in any way, shape or form with you?
His understanding gets a little better every day, but words wise, he's saying mama, and I could have sworn 2 days ago he said Liverpool, because my mother-in-law came up with a Liverpool bag and my daughter started singing Liverpool, Liverpool, and I could have sworn, no, he said it was muffled, but he definitely said it.
I know. You know? What is he? He's only 2, isn't he?
He's 2.5, yeah.
How much was it? I mean, was he a great old chatter before this nightmare?
Yeah, he was. We couldn't kind of shut him up, to be honest.
Could you imagine what he'd be like? Could you imagine what he'd be like? Does he know about the Champions League final? Paul kind of told us what he doesn't really understand, at the moment, you know. But he did. Yeah, he knows. He's Paul just came up there now. He did Liverpool kits for him, and his whole face lit up when he saw it. You know, he knew it. You know. That sounds very, very optimistic to me regarding his brain. Then, doesn't it to you?
Yeah, it does. It's they say because he's so young that the brain can reroute. It'll create new lines. You know, it'll go. The good areas will take over the damaged areas. That's what we hope, anyway. You know. So.
What do they call the damage to the brain? I remember you telling me what it was. What was it?
Well, it's a diffuse axonal brain injury. It's a DAI. It's one of the worst brain injuries that you can get. There's only 10% of people that have it wake up from their coma.
So remember at the time that was devastating for you as to whether he would or not.
Oh, devastating. We've been to hell and back, to be honest.
How have you coped?
All we can do is hope and pray. Neil, the first 2-3 weeks, all we did, we just kept the vigil. All we did was pray when we had nothing from him when he was on the life support. We prayed and prayed and prayed. And
you must have gone through every single emotion possible.
Everything. We went from not eating, it was just horrendous. I can't even describe what we went through. It's just, I don't know how we got through it, to be honest, but we just had to.
Yeah.
You know?
You just stumble along in shock?
Yeah, I'd agree. Yeah, you do, definitely, yeah.
And it must be an awful feeling of helplessness by the bed of a 2-year-old child.
I kept, every time if you doze off and you wake up and you're pinching yourself, you're like, is this real? You know, it's just, and you can't do anything for him, you know. And
I suppose for weeks all you were doing with dozing. There was no 6 or 7 or 8 hours sleep for you guys.
No way, no way, none at all, no.
And when you wake up from whatever, then of course it hits you again like a ton of bricks. Oh my God, we're in this nightmare.
It's like, did this happen? It's just so, it's so scary. We thought at one stage that he was going to die on us. You know, we didn't. You know, the fact that he's smiling now and he's smiling and he's laughing. He gives us a hug and he gives us a kiss and, whatever the past lies.
Well, that's not going to happen now. None of that is going to happen. But let me just ask you on that point. Did it ever go through your head the realisation that maybe a team of surgeons and doctors might be asking you to turn off his machine.
Oh, it is. Yeah.
Did it?
It is.
And
yeah.
how were you? What were you thinking about that?
I couldn't. I just no. I remember thinking he's going to die. I asked that in Cork initially, and they said, well, we just don't know. We have to get him to Dublin. So I remember going to Dublin. It was a carriage drove us up, and you know what? Now I don't even think any of us spoke. It was just like an eerie silence in the car the whole way up. We just didn't know what was ahead of us. Do you know? It was horrendous. I wouldn't wish it on anybody.
No.
It's just no. It's their worst nightmare. It's like, but Neil, everyone up here, you know, everyone up in Temple Street, everyone has a story. Like this particular ward is a brain injury ward, and oh my God, this everyone. There's always somebody there, and they all have their own story. It's
happy
terrible,
and sad recoveries.
Happy and sad,
that.
Yeah, with regards of everything, you know.
And how is he with regards to all of the broken bones?
Well, they discovered that his hip, there's a fracture in his hip a couple of days ago that he had, and we didn't know that. But his shoulder and his collarbone, they've healed up, yeah. But the hip, they only discovered that a couple of days ago. But it's healing nicely, so they're happy to just leave it as it is, you know. And
being so small, of course, he has a much better chance of recovery because his bones are growing, and that's the same for his brain. The brain can heal itself.
Yeah, that's what we hope. He has time on his side. That's what we keep saying. He's only 2.5. And he has tremors, like in his hands and in his legs, predominantly his left side.
Yeah.
They're like shakes, you know. It's down to the injury. So we're hoping that he couldn't hold a spoon now for you or anything like that. You know, he couldn't feed. You know, he's too shaky. You know, now they're hoping that they'll ease off in time, but if not, then there is medication that they can give him for it.
Yeah.
But they don't want to start him on any long-term medication if it's something that eases off itself.
I know what you mean.
know?
Yeah, sure, they're the professionals, they're the experts. But that's great. Yeah. I mean, he must be very much on the mend if they're saying that he can go back to the CUH in Cork.
Neil, like medically, he's well. He started feeding. They took out his feeding tube a week and a half ago. He's eating away, like he's fine. He's drinking. All that, like all his tubes, all his medication, everything is finished now. Like it's recovery now. It's all rehab.
It's up to the body now. Yeah.
It's all rehab now, like physio, speech and language, play therapy. It's all that just to try and get the brain going.
And will all that happen in Cork? It will. As the CUH can do all of that.
Well, as far as at the moment, yes, but we don't know what it is long term. We don't know what it is at the moment. I suppose they'll guide us. They'll guide us as to what the plan is, you know. But he will need a lot of,
But you must be very excited as well as unbelievably relieved.
It's like a weight has been lifted off our shoulders. Like my eldest son, you know, he wasn't really coping well. My daughter's kind of none the wiser, but the bigger fella, he
Max.
kind of, Max, he was very upset. You know, I think because of the nature of what happened, like he's afraid of our house, he's afraid of the park, he's afraid of, you know, people, which is not true. Like,
is he afraid it could happen to him? That some car will come speeding in and hit him?
Yeah, he's afraid if somebody knocks on the front door, if I'm upstairs or downstairs. If I'm upstairs and he's downstairs, he doesn't want to be downstairs by himself. Like, he's very much, you know,
you can do your best to reassure him, like, yeah.
Yes, and you know, we're only going home and then we're swapping and we're back up and he doesn't know what's going on. He's kind of, like, he doesn't know, with all his, he does loads of activities and everyone, all our family and everything are really good and we all bring him to there, but he wants his mum to bring him or he wants his dad to bring, he wants a bit of normality. So I think when that goes to the CUH, we'll be able to do that.
Absolutely, yeah. And did you see you brought him to the doctor, Max?
Sorry?
Were you saying that you had brought him to the doctor because of it?
Oh, I brought him to the doctor, yeah, and he's been referred to a child psychologist.
Talk it through.
So, yeah, he needs to speak to somebody.
Talk it through.
You know?
Yeah,
so,
I know. Will you be very touchy-feely now forever, do you think, after all of this?
Oh, I think so, yeah, definitely, you know. Do you know what I would say to people? I know, even though this isn't the nature of what happened to Zach, but you know, because it's a brain injury ward that we're on, you know, with the fine weather coming in and everything, kids are out on their bikes and out in their scooters to make sure they have a helmet on. Oh my God, I couldn't stress it enough.
Let's talk a little bit about that. What kind of injuries and what kind of illnesses are you seeing in that unit?
Oh, there's brain tumours, there's car accidents. The boy was knocked off his bike. He's very seriously injured. There's loads of things. I can't even... It's just horrendous. It's so sad that they're all young kids, I know. It'll affect you for life. It really will. You'll be so protective of them, you know what I mean? Yeah, definitely, definitely.
But listen, you're on the right road. I was down in Super Value there recently doing a bit of shopping in Skahard Road. And everybody, that's right, because I don't know if you still work there, do you? But you certainly did work there.
Yeah, 17 years, I was hoping to go back in September. But
you're in the deli, I think, are you, Aishling?
Yeah. 17 years I'm there, yeah.
The girls were telling me, and you don't need me to tell you, but they were all thinking of you.
They're amazing. They were all brilliant, and they were down at the bar. When they had the fun day in Ringmahon, they went down, and Tomas and Siobhan, they went down. They done all the barbecue and supplied everything. It was amazing. Because
on Saturday there was a huge turnout at the Ringmahon Rangers friendly. That was the Cork City Football Club.
Yeah, that was yesterday. I wasn't there now because I'm in Dublin, but Paul was there. Yeah, he said it was brilliant.
And I think they raised well over $3,000, like something like 3,260. So that brings the fund now, the GoFundMe, to just under 46,000. You're aware of that?
Yeah,
that's incredible.
Yeah, I'm not 100% aware, but to be honest, I haven't even looked at it. But that's unbelievable, You'll need every penny of that and lots more besides. So that GoFundMe is still open. The security guards are having a fundraiser in Mahon Point on Saturday the 25th of May, just as a by the way. They're putting on a huge family day and a spin-a-thon. And Saturday in Mahon Point will be very busy. That's the 25th, so hopefully people will support that as well. Okay, so you're home Thursday. When I say home, back on Leeside Thursday. Yes, definitely. Yeah. Thursday. We are. He was supposed to go by ambulance, but now they're saying he's actually well enough to go by car.
Great. Oh, that's great.
We're going to drive him down, so it's just going to be. I can't wait.
It'd be great to be back in Cork. It'd be great to be home. And it'd be great to be able...
I ever missed Cork so much, I like, don't get me wrong, Dublin people, they're all so nice to us and everything, but I don't ever want to come up again.
Not for a while anyway. And if you're up, it's just to socialise, right?
Yes, oh God,
you deserve a break after all of this. You guys deserve a break. And I'd say, you know what, the way things are going, you'll get a summer holiday with all of the family before the summer ends, I'd say.
Please God.
Absolutely. Stay in touch, Aishling. It's great to catch up.
Thanks very much.
And regards to Paul, and a big hug to little Zac and to Max and Belle as well, okay?
Yeah, brilliant. Thanks so much.
See you in a few days back on Leeside where you belong. Cheers.
The Neil Prendeville Show.
With Tesco Home Delivery. Value and freshness delivered right to your door. Tesco. Every little helps.